Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck Sim live stream today. It is the 13th of November 2023. It's 34 minutes past 3 here in the afternoon in the United Kingdom. We're back in X-Plane 12 in the ZIBO Mod 737. It's been a really long time since we've done a public live stream in the ZIBO Mod. Only on Saturday I did a members-only group flight, our 47th. And it's my last day before I go to work tomorrow. And I was actually wanting to fly the PMDG 737 to check out the Minneapolis scenery. But I could not take... I had to take the opportunity to fly a named storm in the UK. Now, we've done a number of these years ago. It's been years since. And today we're going to be flying in Storm Debi. It's been named by the Met Office. We're here in south of Ireland, in Cork. We're flying to Birmingham. We've visited both these airports in streams in the past, but this is because it's two of the windiest airports forecast in Ireland and the United Kingdom. Now, having said that, they were about 20 minutes ago. Cork is only a meagre 15 knot crosswind now, which isn't too bad, but Birmingham, they've got a gusting 24 knot crosswind, which could be quite interesting in X-Plane 12. I wanted to take X-Plane as well in the mod, because I've always found that crosswind limits, certainly in the PMDG 737 when flying at maximum limit, doesn't handle very realistically. So the mods I've always found in X-Plane 11 handled well. I don't think I've ever done it in X-Plane 12, so it'll be quite interesting to see how the aircraft performs as well. The forecast in Birmingham isn't nice either. For strong crosswinds forecast all the way until the middle of the night as well. So it's going to be good fun. Just a quick, short, snappy sector, 45-minute flight time. Live weather, obviously, live time as well, so it will be a sort of dusk sunset or dark flight or night arrival into Birmingham today as well, so it's looking quite exciting. I've got the brand new latest version of the mod. In fact, I think it's a pre-release version. ZIBO updated only an hour ago. I've not tested this particular version, but it's got this brand new SimBrief integration system, so you can load in your SimBrief flight plan. You don't need to load up the FMS at all. It takes a lot of time off the streams, for example, helping to set it up as well, so I'll be using that. Let's see, we have in chat, Tuton says, Konnichiwa, hello to you. Thrust Set Simulation says, finally up early enough to catch one of the streams live. Woohoo, where are you, sir, coming in from? Probably much further west than I am. Henrik D's here as well. Stephen Jenkinson's got lots of blowing emojis in chat. Wonderful. He says, howdy, Captain. Happy, windy Monday, everyone. Yeah, I hope everyone's batting down the hatches with Storm Debi. I'm glad I'm off today, but I'm in the sim tomorrow, so I don't have to worry about any of this horrible inclement weather. Anyway, here we are. We've got Orpho for the entire sector, Orbex True Earth in the UK as well. Not that we'll be seeing much of the scenery today with the very inclement weather conditions. Coda 101's here, Hasso Basso 2 in chat, Garyfield. Hello, Tim Fraser, nice to see you here as well. Brandon Schuster, it was windy this morning here in Ireland. If you find my bins over here in England, please let me know. Brilliant. Cork is infamous for a few gusts. Wind shear, yes, very windy airport. Sort of sat on a plateau here. It often can get quite windy here. Hello, Rubs. Thanks for your support as a member. I think you're a brand new member. Thanks for joining the channel. Hope you're doing very well. Hope you enjoy using the custom emojis in chat as well. And thanks for the support. Where's Will? Ironic to be in the sim today when worrying about the horrible inclement weather. Yes. Well, tomorrow I've got some type rating sessions, and I've got them all week as well. It's warm and cozy in my simulation. I don't have to worry about any of this awful weather. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. I've got the checklist all loaded up in the cockpit ready to go to, and you'll notice I've got the doors closed because I want to use this new loading system. So let's take a look at that here. So yes, cold and dark. Let's get the battery on, GPUs on the bus. We'll pop on the electric hydraulic pumps. Landing gear lever is down. We're going to check all the aircraft documentation and then the ship's library. So, if you are not a member, you would have missed me setting this up on Saturday. If you go to Fuel Weight and Balance now, you'll notice in the ZIBO mod there's an auto flight handling tab. This is a brand new feature in the ZIBO mod 737. What you need to do is download your SimBrief operational flight plan. It's a XML file. You just pop it into the FMS output folder in X-Plane 12. Hopefully in time we'll have direct SimBrief integration. And then you press load OFP. There we are. So this is my SimBrief operational flight plan loaded. 180 passengers. They've all got carry-on luggage today. Our zero fuel weight will be 58 tons. And with 4.5 tons, you press activate, and what it does, it starts an interactive loading process. So the doors will open in time, the cabin crew will be, the cleaners will be cleaning the cabin, and it'll open the doors, start loading, and the fuel all automatically now. There we are, so there's Cormac loading up fuel here in Cork, so you don't have to do each individual feature. So yeah, it's nice to finally have this in the ZIBO mod 737. So boarding will start next as well. It'll open the doors for you and everything. There you go. Look, stop service crews on ground. It's completely automated now, and now you can hear the doors, I think, opening. Oh no, yeah, they are. There's the doors opening. Can you hear the hoovers going off? It's really cool, isn't it? So it's just a nice little feature there.
Flight deck fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Excellent. Well, that didn't take long to take the fuel. Now, unfortunately, SimBrief only takes the flight plan minimum fuel. We're going to take a little bit of extra based off the inclement conditions here. Domino Moose says, shit, brilliant. We're never ever going to fly there. No, we might do one day. Richard Jones, glad to be here, especially as a lover of flight. Nice to hear you say it. Hi, Tim. I had some devastating news recently. Oh dear, I'm sorry to hear that your father has cancer. I hope he's getting the treatment he needs and deserves here as well. Very sorry to hear that, my friend. AJ Ferdy says, oh, neat. I think you're probably referring to this loading feature here. Spurious Podge, last time I flew into Cork with Aer Lingus, we'd do 2 grands and a little ATI. Yeah, those things get bounced around all over the place. Would you be quiet back here? Cleaners having a right old smash and bash around the back. Right, whilst they're cleaning the aircraft, we'll continue sitting at the aircraft. Oh gosh, what's going on with my forward and aft cargo? Right, so that's not very reassuring. Well, they're not open. Maybe that's some sort of weird bug. Hopefully they'll open in time automatically. We'll keep an eye on that. Get the attend button pushed. Now let's load up a little bit of extra fuel. So if I was flying this exact sector to Birmingham with really crap weather forecast in Birmingham, with crosswind in excess of the limits here, you'd have a good careful look at all of the alternates. So you'll see I've generated 4 alternates here. Now we've gone for East Midlands as the sort of first alternate. It is very windy there, but the wind's down the runway. Manchester as well, windy but winds down the runway. Same with Stansted, same with Luton. So these are alternates which are all suitable, albeit very windy. Rubs, thank you very much for your donation, sir. Oh, why is it not reading? I don't know. Have to study for exams, but your stream started and I have to prioritise, so studies can wait. No, study on your exams, sir. I can't say that you should be distracted by my streams. But thank you very much for your donation and for joining as a member. Good luck with whatever your studies are, and if they're aviation studies, hopefully you'll get some help in Discord as well. Doors got blown off, maybe there. Yes. Thanks for all the lovely comments, said Tim. I hope it hasn't brought the mood down. Good to beauty this is. Oh no, not at all. I'm sure we're all thinking of we are all thinking of your father, and I wish him the best in his recovery. Right, so you can hear the passengers are all loading. So if you go here to the weight and balance, auto flight handling, you see, look, the passengers have started loading. It just shows a percentage figure, which is fine, and it's based off of obviously 180 passengers. Now, as discussed, we're going to take a little bit of extra fuel to allow for a potential go-arounds. As I said, Eastman's is fine for an alternate with the wind down the runway. There's no reason why we can't select that, and then Manchester. We'll take an extra 2 tons. That's what I'd be taking today. Enough for a couple of approaches, sit on your hands for a few minutes before deciding where to go. So that would be 4.555, let's call it 6.5 tons of fuel. So to go back to payload, 6.5. Call for the fuel truck back.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
And Cormac, frustratingly, having just unattached his fuel hose, has reattached it to uplift some additional fuel for us there. So that's all done. Let's carry on with the rest of the setup. We've got, it's a US airline, I think we're using in the back there. That's all done up here. Don't forget to see the fire tests as well, which I should have done earlier. Fault AV detector in op. We've got master caution overheat detector. Check the fire bell. Fire warning lights. Engine overheat. Wheel well lights illuminated with the fire warning bell and lights. We'd then do our panel scan, which I've already done. I'll do the cargo fire test. Forward aft discharge. 2 green lights. Fire bell and fire warning light. Let's turn up the lighting here. There we go, that's better. VHF 1 for box 1 and 2. Roger and on trim, we check is 3 and 0. Gear extension doors closed. Working our way up here, voice recorder's on. Flight recorder's checked. Mac airspeed warning test. Stall warning test. Sufficient crew pressure for dispatch IRS to nav. Island's going to take around 9 minutes at this latitude. Circuit breakers are all in. All Alpaca Airways, Alpaca Canada Airways nose wheel is stuck in the ground there. And we'd then check the technical log, emergency equipment, make sure everything is all set up. Good. Let's now see if there's any ATC. There's no events here, no, not at all. So we'll imagine we've got the 80s, and the weather is as follows. It's 240 at 14, so it's a direct crosswind. There's CBs around. Broken at 2,000 feet, 12 degrees, QNH is 9 and 9 are 6. So we'll set the QNH there, 996. I didn't quite get enough time to load up the OPT into the sim for you guys to show you, but the real OPT is showing an MFRA of 1502, which I'll set up here. And now I can show you this really neat, brand new ZIBO mod sim brief flight plan fetch feature. You're sort of utilising data link and CPDLC. So if you select FMC, firstly just put your position here. So we're in Cork, which is Echo India Charlie Kilo, GPS left, and we'll then go to flight plan request. So, so long as you've uploaded that file, you press this, it'll fetch your flight plan from the SimBrief file download, which takes a few seconds. There it is, route uplink ready, press load, and voila, there it is.
Flight deck fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Wonderful, we can put the seatbelt sign on, now fueling is complete. You can see the operational flight plan is all loaded. My call sign, the runway we're departing from, and I can also uplift the performance too. So there you go, if I go next you can see all the routings in and the arrival. You just need to select the landing runway at your destination, which will be 33 today. And from the Fixie arrival, it'll be just Grove and Vectors for the centre fix. We'll leave it as it is. And you just simply activate and execute, so you don't need to type it in manually, which is a really nice feature. Thanks for subscribing there, D-Town135. Welcome on board. Hello, Brendan. Late to the party again. How's it going? Hope all is well. Very well, thank you. And thank you very much for popping in. Same with performance, guys. You can select performance init request. It'll fetch the data from your FMC. We don't have this on our aircraft. I don't know if Perfect can actually be sent via data link. Probably can be. Again, it's just not an option at my operator. It's ready to load, select load, boof, all the information's pre-filled for you. Reserves we could just put in manually, which would be 2.1 tons for East Midlands. The cruise wind is in, there's an out-constraint in Grove it's worried about, we'll have a look at that later. Kanopki, thank you very much indeed for your €6 donation. I'm glad to hear,
My Alpaca Airways mug has arrived. Enjoying a nice cup of coffee while being entertained by my favourite captain. Cool face, heart, greetings from Berlin, smiley face.
Thank you so much with all the emojis there. Microsoft Bill was not sure how to translate all of that. Thank you very much indeed for your support. Hope your motorbike is doing well in Berlin. Thank you for your donation. Enjoy drinking from the mug. I'm being good today. Look, I'll turn on Yogam. I'm drinking Ice Valley bottled water. Very, very good for you. Cool, so that's all in. You see you don't have to fetch any data. Now the real OPT is stating I could take full 22k today with no assumed thrust. Now my operator, when the crosswind is in excess of 10 knots, which it is today, we cannot take an assumed temperature. We always take full D rate, rounded up, because we have it as a tail strike reduction policy. You want a higher thrust setting in these conditions to avoid or decrease the risk of tail strike. Now what we also do, we bump up the thrust rating up another £2,000 of thrust if we can't take an assumed temperature for 22k. So the real OPT is saying full 22k with no assume. We go up another D rate just to prevent or reduce the risk of tail strike. If you're not sure about how I've calculated that, leave a comment in the video after. I can explain that in text a little bit better. Anyway, the real OPT is saying with 24k full, we should have an N1 of 93.9. Again, there's a slight discrepancy there. It's showing 0.4 difference. In reality, it would be about 0.6, 0.7. So we noticed this on the group flights, some discrepancies coming in with the real OPT and the FMC's calculated N1, and that's based with the bleeds on as well. So we'll have a look at that when we get the power on the APU. Flap 5 CG is set. The real OPT is giving speeds of 29, 38, 45. So wet speeds 29, 37, 46. So they're all in within 1 knot of the real OPT, which is pretty cool. And we can set 146 knots there. So the performance is done, and we can also go here to request the winds en route instead of just using the average wind, which is a really nice feature as well. So you don't have to insert the winds for the cruise at each waypoint. You can load those in. There we are. Every single wind is uploaded. You can also save a bit of time and get the most accurate data for your right by going to the forecast page. You can even request your descent wind, so you don't even have to manually input this. And this, if you do this at the planning stage, will provide the most accurate arrival fuel and ETA for your progress page en route. There we are, so we can put all that information in. Superb. Russell says, afternoon, hope the big Senegal copes with the gusts. Senegal? What's that? Thank you. Yes, we'll see how we can get on. Oh, I hope the big Seneca. Sorry, you're referring to my reference of the 737 as a large Seneca. Yes, we'll see how we get on today. Malaysian aviator, icing conditions? Yes, very likely in the climb. We'll be utilising the or at least engine anti-ice, but no icing conditions on the ground here or freezing conditions. Right, so the FMS is all loaded. Performance is now complete. That's the beauty with this new feature. Now we can now do our paddle scan up here. So your damper's on. Nav transfer display switch is normal auto. Check the crossfeed valve. Make sure it goes from bright to dim and then bright and off. 4 pumps on, there's no fuel in the centre tanks, it's a very short sector today. Let's start up the APU. That's coming up. Window heat we can turn on. Oh, left forward overwing is open. They're already getting off. Right, let's investigate that. Cruising at 29,000 feet, I think it was today. 29,000 feet, and the elevation in Birmingham. You can always get the destination elevation off the flight plan usually. There we are. Destination elevation 339. So perfect. We can leave it at 350. Right. Why are the passengers? Yes, my overwing exit is currently open. Let's close that with immediate effect. That didn't happen on the test sector. Doors. It is now closing. Right, perfect. Back to the way it should be. How's the loading going on as well? 76% full, we're almost there. Let's put the APU on the bus. We can now disconnect ground power. Oh, it is already disconnected. I think it's using the automatic GPU connection feature, which is fine. The plane's cam flap is open, said Longcap. Brilliant. Well done passing your LPC, I think it was recently, or your LST. I can't remember what it was, Longcap, but well done. Whatever it was, well done. Did you have door failures enabled? No. Didn't Waters have her indoor name Storm Deb? Don't know, Anthony. I was going to go into the new Minneapolis scenery today by Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I'll have to wait until next week, I'm afraid. Right, let's finish up the setup. Flight directors can come on. Auto brake to RTO, reset the fuel flow. I'm going to turn up the lighting on the MCP here. This is going to be dark soon. That's all done. And the radio tuning panel, let's now set that up down here. So here's Navagraph. Our sector is going to take us from runway 16 here in Cork, left turn after departure, across the southern part of the Irish Sea towards Swansea, then Cardiff, and then up towards Birmingham. As I said, flight time is only 45 minutes today. Let's look at the runway QDM just to set this up on the MCP. So short runway 2,200 or just under 2,200 metres. Runway heading is 164, which we can set up here. Well, despite the MCP lighting set up to its highest setting, the lights for the courses or the windows on the MCP are very dim. It's on bright, that wouldn't make any difference. The only lighting here is this one, which is set to full, which I think that's just trying to deal with X-Plane's lighting, which can be a bit funky around sunset, sunrise still. And also courses are set, and the Vapal SID we're flying today, the SID stop altitude is 5,000 feet, so I imagine we've got our clearance set there. Perfect, we'll tune the Cork VOR 1462. Perfect, so that's all done. We just need to do the light test, check the oxygen as well. Config check. What's your LST along here? Excellent. Perfect, oxygen's done. And, oh, Jim's just done the light test. Well done, Jim. No faults. Wonderful. So yeah, taxi's pretty straightforward, guys. Push back to face south, north, out via Alpha for runway 16. There we are, that's the cabin crew shutting the door. And then the Tismo departure from runway 16, climb straight ahead to 2,500 feet. So you can use LNAV, and LNAV then at 2,500 feet will command a left turn direct to Vapal. And that's it. That's the departure. Pretty straightforward. There's no high terrain to the south, so we can climb to 1,700 feet for the MSA. We'll just run it up to 3,000. Thanks, we will do there, Margaret. Shutting the door in aggressive fashion. Right, let's do the safety inspection before start checklist. I'd say yeah, blah blah. Yes, we're going to go. I've got the brand new scenery from Flight Beam Studios there. Stratocost, I think I had an APU failure yesterday. The thing would not turn off. Still unsure if it was a true failure or glitch bug. Ooh, who knows?
Safety inspection checklist. Surfaces and chocks.
Checked.
Maintenance status.
Checked.
Battery.
On.
Electric hydraulic pumps.
On.
Landing gear lever.
Down.
Ship's library.
Checked.
Safety inspection checklist complete.
Perfect. Now, because the winds have died down slightly here, they're still quite strong, 15 knots. I will take the time prior to takeoff to talk about the crosswind takeoff technique for the 737. I do have two tutorials on crosswind takeoffs and crosswind landings, which you might find very useful. Again, performed in the ZIBO mod with 20 knots, I think, for both. So if you're interested in a breakdown of that technique, type in YouTube chat flight deck to sim crosswind takeoff or flight deck to sim crosswind landing, and it should be the top hit video. Right, let's do the before start checklist of a line.
Before start checklist to the line.
Oh.
IRS mode selectors.
Nah.
Posh limousine.
Gear pins.
Cork.
Removed.
Light test.
Checked.
Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Yaw damper.
On.
Nav transfer and display switches.
Normal and auto.
Fuel.
So this is a great little audio checklist. If you use the command CList in chat, you'll be able to get the link for it. It's interactive and checks the configuration for you. So fuel for this sector to Birmingham, 4.5 required. We have 6.5 on board and
Checked.
Fuel pumps.
4 pumps on.
Perfect.
Cabin util IFE galley power.
On.
Emergency exit lights.
Armed.
Fasten belts.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Air conditioning.
PEX auto. Bleeds on.
Pressurization.
So we've got 290 for the cruise, 350, and the switches and configuration is what we want at this stage.
Set.
Pressurization
Very
mode selector.
important.
Auto.
Instruments.
Cross-checked.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Hydraulics.
Normal.
Speed brake.
Just
Down to
about.
10.
Should be
Parking
higher
brake.
pressure.
Set.
Stab trim cutout switches.
Normal.
Wheel well fire warning.
Not again.
Yes, it doesn't like this, so let me... Yeah, it doesn't trigger.
Checked.
You did definitely do
Radios, radar and transponder.
Set and stand by.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
Takeoff
it.
briefing.
Nightbot not here. Unbelievable.
Discussed.
PA.
Complete.
Yep,
FMC
definitely did the PA,
CDU.
did not hear it. So that's to ensure that the pilot flying has the takeoff page, pilot monitoring has the legs page.
Set.
N1 and
Stop, I've
IAS
seen it.
books.
No, why it's not
N1
working,
and
so-
IIS auto. V-speed set.
Stab trim.
Set.
Performance,
Don't
weight and
forget to set the
balance.
stab trim. That's all
Checked.
checked.
EFB.
Airplane mode and stowed.
Phones.
Off.
Flight deck windows and cockpit door.
Closed.
Doors.
Closed.
Passengers.
Seated.
Before start checklist completed to the line.
Excellent. Let's now grab the better pushback tool. And we'll do a pushback behind the alpaca once he's clear. Perfect.
All right, Captain. Got the directions. Let me know through the menu when you're ready.
Oh, we are ready, sir. It's an X-Pact. Stop pushback.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Has Nightbot made an appearance at all today? No. Oh no, Nightbot is here. Even the only thing I saw was a list of all the commands, which yeah, it's definitely is exclamation mark. Oh no. Okay, my apologies. The reason Nightbot's not working is I've used the wrong command. I thought it was I thought it was dash C list. Oh dear, it's definitely working. But it's checklist. I swear it was C list. Oh dear, I can't even run my own YouTube channel. I can't remember what the commands are. Oh dear, I need to print them off, put them on a post-it. I need to update the commands then. I've got you. Livery's working.
All right. Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Is that a V1 in the tongue? It is. Click direct C list. Hi, Lauren, hope you're well. Look, I've updated the routing. I at least remembered to do that at Nightbot today. Excellent. Let's hope the rider pushes back after us. Let's see what goes on. The Alpaca Airways is zipping towards the whole point. Look at that limousine going around. Yeah, just stock Cork scenery here today. With ortho. Yeah, it will be night by the time I get to Birmingham. Aerial YouTube are brilliant. Right then, let's do the checks below the line. We've actually got our clearance.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Before
Toes
start
connected,
checklist
5
below
fast
the
pens
line,
inserted.
air
Go kill the
conditioning
parking brake
pack,
when you're ready to go.
Off.
We will.
anti-collision light,
On.
parking brake,
Set.
transponder.
Alt off.
Before start checklist complete.
Excellent. HP Flyber, where do you get the ZIBO updated version? I don't know what the existing link is. ZIBO I have a direct line with, and he sends me the latest versions all the time. So this is mouthful now. Version 4, release candidate 5.8 hotel. He literally made this to me about an hour ago with some bug fixes for the loading feature. Yes, that's what we're using today. Right, let's now release the parking brake, start our pushback. In good time as well.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
It's been a long time since we streamed from Cork as well. Look at that, on the hour. Ah, it's perfect. I always tried to push 30 minutes into the stream. Right, starting engine number 2. A good sound. So N2, oil pressure N1, 25%. Starting to idle heat. Check the spark valve goes from dim and bright and off. Thoughts on the X-Craft E-Jets? Going to try any of them? I've never flown any of them Stratocast. Are they good? Generally don't know much about them. There's the Alpaca Airways blasting off. Alpaca 13 November Oscar. Ooh, stop your truck there, Austin. No! Oh, flipping heck. He's pushing his luck, isn't he? Right, starting out watching. Number 2. Good, starting at number 1. He's in a hurry. A bit of an indentation here, sort of sinking down. He's like riding on the handbrake. What is he doing? Better start engine number 1. Max motoring. Whoops. He's got his handbrake stuck on. Oh, Fabby, yes, I think that video's done the rounds. Yeah, there was at Stansted a catering truck hit a Ryanair wing. Yeah. Awful, awful. Touch wood, I never have such bad luck. Starter cadet, sponsoring engine number 1, 2, 4, 6, 3, and 1. Stable, let's do the before taxi flight. Well, actually, we'll put the generators on APU off, and then we'll wait until we see the pin. Yeah, it's a bit hilly here with the ortho. Oh, I've got a confession. I've not checked the Birmingham scenery with Orbex TrueAir. Sometimes it can be a bit wonky, so fingers crossed that the runway is actually flat.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Parking brake set. I just didn't have much time.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Had a very busy day. I mean, I decided to stream about a couple of hours ago, and I thought, well, I won't have another chance for a few days. Cheers, Alfie. Thanks for the 52 months as a member. Unbelievable. 52 months. I don't even know how many years that is. A lot. That is over 4 years, isn't it? 4 years and a few months. Thanks, Alfie. 52 months. I know those sounds. That's the ZIBO mod. Yes, the channel go-to aircraft, let's say. Thank you very much, buddy, for your continued support for all that time. Crazy.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Excellent. Wow. Right, we'll wait for the bypass pin. he is. Mavericks, was that you there? That was a interesting takeoff. Crosswinds are weird in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yes, they are a bit weird. There's the bypass bin. I was going to take the PMDG, but I've not flown the mod for public in ages on a public stream, and I've flown the PMDG 737 in strong crosswinds. It's just not very realistic, so I always revert to this one. Well, I'm not trying to explain 12. Let's see how we get on. Right, generators on, APU off, start switches, probe heat. Don't need the engine or wing anti-ice. It's dry. Auto, APU bleeds off and set. Flaps to 5. Let's check the flight controls. Full forwards, full back, left and right. Here comes the rudders. Full right and full left. Push recall. Blank the lower DU, and we'll now complete the before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Generators.
On.
APU.
Off.
Start switches.
Continuous.
Probe heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Air conditioning.
PEX auto. Bleeds on.
Isolation valve.
Auto.
Flaps.
Not again.
Oh, it's bugged. 5 is required. We definitely have 5 selected and 5 indicated green lights.
Flips 5 required and
Nice.
selected.
Works
Green
when you
light.
push it.
Stab trim.
Set.
Start levers.
Idle detent.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Recall.
Checked.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Excellent, we'll commence taxiing. Brendan, why don't we check the flight controls input on the system page? That's because of my operator Vis, we don't have it fitted, so we don't actually check the DU. We just need to make sure there's no resistance and there's full and free movement. Right, let's commence taxiing then. Parking brake released. Let's do the config check. There we are, and then you can bring it back down to around 30%. Quite light today. That's a cool camera. Helps us down the taxi line. Right then, let's. It is a bit lumpy. Look. I think that's just the ortho tar. Oh, I've not checked Birmingham. I've broken my rule and not checked all the scenery. Oh, because I've got Orbex True Earth, and that can really mess up with default runways sometimes. Right, we'll have to see what happens when we get there. Right, before takeoff checklist then, to the line.
Before takeoff checklist to the line. Config.
Checked.
Flaps.
Flips 5 set. Green light.
Stab trim.
Set.
Takeoff briefing.
So let's check the overhead panel. Pax Auto bleeds on. V-speed set for departure 29, 37, 46. V2 set on the MCP. The departure's the Tismo 1 Sierras. Climbing runway heading to 2,500 feet. Left turn VAPAL. Stop altitude 5,000 feet. I don't know what NADP it is here. We'll treat it as 2. And edge it out. Sid will climb straight ahead 3,000 feet.
Reviewed.
Cabin.
Secured.
Before takeoff checklist completed to the line.
Excellent. So just before we take off, there's no one behind us waiting for departure. Let's just talk about the crosswind takeoff technique. And I'll brief you exactly as I would a type rating student for their first ever sort of max crosswind takeoff. We've got about a 15-20 knot crosswind today. It's Birmingham now that has the inclement weather. It was a lot worse here. Well, literally when I pressed publish on the stream, it was about 30 knot crosswind, but it's died down quite a bit here. Right then, let's just set the parking brake, and I'll just get the latest METAR here, which should be fed into X-Plane. So the latest METAR is showing here 240 at 16 knots, so yeah, it's essentially a full 16 knot crosswind. So if I bring up yoke cam, let's talk about the takeoff roll. So I'm going to push toga, advance the thrust levers, set takeoff thrust, and then we put light forward pressure on the control column. Let the aircraft accelerate to 80 knots, and then start reducing the pressure. Now the wind's coming in from the right today, so you can see here on the ND, look, 240. So the aircraft is going to weathercock to the right. You're going to need to use left rudder to maintain centre line. Now above 80 knots you need to start inputting a little bit of aileron into wind, but not too much. You do this and the spoilers will deploy on the upwind wing. So a little bit of aileron into wind, and then on rotation here I'm going to have left rudder right aileron into wind, and then as you rotate you might have to increase the bank angle as much as you need to keep wings level. Now max crosswind, which we don't have today, you need almost full aileron to keep the aircraft wings level. That's why we have a max crosswind limit. I've had to on a gust literally go like this to keep it level. And then when you get airborne, neutralise the rudder, neutralise the ailerons to keep it centred. Now this is why I like X-Plane, because it does this very realistically, whereas in Microsoft Flight Sim, you certainly in the PMDG, I've done it, and you need hardly any aileron input to be realistic. Right, we'll just check again that runs clear. Excellent. There's no one on final, so let's now backtrack. Lights on, taxi lights off. I imagine we're cleared for takeoff. Just guys, give me 2 seconds. I think I might have left the keys in the door. My girlfriend can't get in the house. Hold on. It's okay. It was Amazon. It was Amazon. Oh dear. Christmas crap has been purchased from the other half. Right. I hope that's all understood. Anyway, Jack's come running upstairs as well. Come on, buddy. Come inside. Oh dear. Sorry about that. Oh dear. Oh dear. I don't know if you even heard my doorbell. Right. Let's get my breath back as well. Cleared for takeoff then. Toga's in chat. I'll do my best for that crosswind takeoff, and I'll try and explain what I'm doing during the takeoff roll as well. Helps if I do. Yes, thanks. Just testing your. Well done. I didn't do a checks below the line.
Before takeoff checklist, below the line, MCP,
Set.
transponder,
TARA.
strobe lights,
On.
landing lights.
On.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Perfect. Timing. So you ideally want to let the engine spool up and stabilise. Never do it from idle. 40%. Looking good. Stabilised. Set takeoff thrust. Light forward pressure. There we are. Takeoff thrust set indication also. I'm already having to put in left rudder now. Yeah, that's nice. Nice feeling there.
Really nice.
Checked, release the forward pressure, a little bit of aileron into wind. I'm having to use quite a bit of left rudder here now to maintain centre line. Oh, this feels fantastic. One off the thrust lever.
Rotate.
Rotates. Off we go. 2.5 degrees per second. Look at the aileron going into wind now to keep the wings level. Really nice. And you can see it letting weathercock into wind. Gears coming up. Very, very realistic. Fantastic.
400.
LNAV. There you go. Sim's got so much better since release. Right, 1,000 feet, let's bug up. So we're going to maintain runway heading. LNAV will command that until we get to 2,500 feet, and it should command a left turn. That's above V2 plus 15, select flap 1. Make sure though you're accelerating. It's a little bit early there. It's a little bit of light turbulence. So there's 2,500. It should be coming. There's the left turn coming in now. Laps up. 38 knots up here. So the magenta line, it should command a nice smooth turn instead of a straight line like that. speed. There's no ATC, so I'll just level off here for a second. I'll accelerate to 250 knots, let the auto throttle do that for you. Looks a bit apocalyptic down there. Would be a little bit choppier with those sort of winds down here. Once you get over sort of over 5,000 or 6,000 feet, the turbine should ease. You have to trim nose down as the aircraft accelerates. Yeah, so that magenta line hasn't drawn that correctly, so there's a bit of a bug there. And this is one of the reasons I love this sim so much. It's just, you cannot get anything that replicates those sort of conditions as realistically as that. It was really good. You know, it's not perfect. For example, it'll be a little bit gustier. You might be doing a little bit more of this to keep the wings level, small inputs, but it was very good nonetheless within the confines of a desktop sim. Right, there's out to quiet, out hold. All in trim now. Can let go. Look, you see the aircraft staying exactly where it is. Command A, and we can now do the after takeoff checklist. Gears off, auto brakes off, star switches off, air conditioning and pressurization. We've got a diff pressure of 1.9 climbing, auto. Temperatures are set. Release the crew. There we are. After takeoff checklist complete. And we'll now climb up to flight level 290. 5,000 feet being the stop. There we are. 290 set. VNAV and set standard. Passing 5. Flight level 290 after takeoff checklist is complete. Good. Ah, who's noticed my signet ring? Yes. Well spotted, Stratocast. This, I'll show you here. It was a present from my mum when I was 18 years old, and I had it resized only a couple of months ago. So I wear it all the time again. Yeah, Sim's getting much better. Apart from the clouds that's going on here, it reminds you of the Star Wars clones coming out of their spaceship. Really nice. Yeah, we're very light today, so 3,500 feet per minute, no problem. Let's double climb ahead of us, over Bamber. Nuclear winter is a little bit too yellow. Passing 100 for flight level 290. Let's do the pre-cruise check. So fuel, we have 4 pumps on and just shy of 6 tons. Lights can come off. APU's off. And conditioning, air conditioning pressurization. 3.5 climbing. And temperatures are set. Smooth enough up here. Very cool. Checks complete. Lovely, look at that. Domino, this is a little bit too yellow. On Saturday I was flying to Budapest in Microsoft Flight Sim and it was 1,000 times worse, really. Yeah, it's a little bit too yellow here, but it's I thought it looked pretty good in Microsoft Flight Sim. When the 320 sim pilot's gone to fly the 7A, when can we see you going over to the A350? Just imagine. Quite like the 73. Sir T-Bag, do you have the toga button on your throttle device? So it's not the actual button as it is in the real aircraft. I have it assigned to this little button here, so that's my toga button on the quadrant. So ETA, it's 53, literally in 35 minutes. Will be a very short stream today, guys, because I still need to get ready for work tomorrow and make dinner. Hi Vibing Cat, hope you're doing well. Have you got X-Plane 12 yet? You still got your giveaway to be given. See, I've got a very good memory. drops down. Is that an aircraft carrier? That's the X-plane aircraft carrier. Tempting, but no. Good. Debi, obviously flying in Storm Debi, but Debi in the bank's doing a good job with the cabin service. Mavericks, still haven't claimed my giveaway either. What was yours? Mavericks, I always contact people and I say let me know, and if you haven't come back to me, you must remind me. Excellent. Uros, it fascinates me one developer built all this really great job. ZIBO free and the best 3 I've ever made. I think it is the best 3 I've ever made. Yes, ZIBO is the man behind it, but obviously has a lot of input from a lot of people. A little bit of light turbulence here. So you see the aircraft moving around slightly. I'm trying to compensate it. Gone for the Skipper wingtips today. Amazing Maze using auto or phone now. Just downloaded about 5 or 6 tiles for this stream. I'm getting the 3090 GPU soon. Do you think it'll run as good as yours on X-Plane? Well, I have a 3080 and it runs well. My CPU is good and stuff. Having said that, I did have a very noisy fan last night. One of the fans for the I don't know what it was for actually, for the CPU cooler I think. It was very loud, so I removed it, blew the dust off it, put it back, and it stopped making the noise. So I don't know if the bearings are going or something, but yeah, I have to keep an eye on it. Oh yeah, it was really loud. Didn't sound right at all. Right, well, we'll be at 29,000 feet soon, and it is a short sector today. I do forget to do Unicom when there's no ATC, so I do apologise. I know you're meant to be on the Unicom frequency, talk to everyone. So let's have a look at the latest weather in Birmingham right now. What is it? When I do streams to fly in these conditions, the wind gets better. It's now 260 at 14, which is fine, but it's not max crosswind. However, when I go flying in real life, the weather always gets worse. It's now 260 at 14. Again, it's still a good crosswind. It's about 14, 15 knot crosswind. But I wanted to do 25 plus. Anyway, I'll definitely need to decrab during the flare. I don't think Storm Debi blew as hard as forecast. You need to live stream your real world flights, imagine. Hello Joe, nice to see you in chat. Thanks for popping in. Alfie, why I'm watching this make me want to dig out the old joystick and throttles from storage. Oh yeah, get it all out and go flying again. Divert to Manchester, still very blowy there. Yeah, but I think at Manchester it's down the runway there, isn't it? Which is not as challenging. Yeah, it's 250 gusting 34, but it's straight down the runway. At least in Birmingham, it's full crosswind. East Midlands pretty windy as well. 250, 27 gusting 38, but they're east-west there, so that'll be runway 27 again, like Manchester. Not too. Well, gusty conditions are challenging, but crosswind is another element of that difficulty. So yeah, you've got to think about your decrab, timing it right. So I went to Manchester, clear emergency, land opposite direction. Yeah, we're 40 knot tailwind. We're going off the end of the runway, Stephen. 200 knot ground speed probably. Right, anyway, let's have a little look at this arrival. Grove, and with that wind in Birmingham, we can expect runway 33. Get the charts open in the background. At the start of the stream, it was 25 knot crosswind. Hey, what's Leeds? I could divert to Leeds. Diverting somewhere where the weather is worse. What's Leeds? Oh, lovely. 250 gusting 49. That is a 46 knot crosswind. Are they diverting? They'll be diverting from Leeds at the moment. They won't be landing at Leeds. Brendan, I hate flying their rivals into Birmingham. Oh crap, what do you mean? I'm not diverting to Leeds. I won't get in. I know what you lot are all going to say now. Go to Leeds. Yeah, Magnus. Brilliant. Yeah, I'm going to have a little look on flight radar. No one will be getting into Leeds with that weather. Nah, Leeds is notorious and the best of times. Wasn't it? Only a few weeks ago, Tui went off the side of the runway there. Let's have a look here. Leeds, Bradford. Arrivals. Well, the Amsterdam's cancelled. No one's diverted yet. There's a couple of inbounds. The Malaga and the Rome. And the Rhino Warsaw. Leeds becomes the new. We've done so many lovely streams into Leeds though. I think I'll just stick to the plan. Ooh, dark. Ah, sorry everyone. That was loud. Lovely sunset over the Irish Sea. We should do a vote, divert to Leeds or not. So many streams to Leeds, but it will be gnarly in Leeds. Oh, fine, I'll poll it. Fine. Alright, how do I do a poll? It's been a while since I've done it. Engage with your audience. Start a poll. Carry on to Birmingham.
How's it go?
Keep you. Carry on. I can't type. Carry on to
50,
Birmingham
40,
or divert
30, 20,
to LP.
10.
No, I better not put yes or no as the answers.
Leeds Bradford, 250 at 31 RW 1431.
Yes, very windy there. Max crosswind. Blah blah blah. I've just seen the poll go live. Oh dear. No, no. I could go full dictator on the channel though. Refuse your request. Oh, I've got 122 knot tailwind. It's not like I've got plenty of time. No. Yeah, okay, you know, okay, I get the idea. I get the idea. Thanks for the 15% of you who, you know, wants to keep things just really realistic. It's horrible. Scattered 800, 8,000 meters, rain, 260, 26 gusting 39. It's out of limits. Oh no, it's within. It's a not out of limits. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Also, you could show us an in-flight diversion. That is true. Fine, I'm going to Leeds. I'm not even going to look at the poll anymore. That's a pointless poll. I've just wasted a minute. Kim Jong-un mode, Captain. Yes, I reserve the right to expel any poll. We don't try. Cheers, Ross. Yeah, probably Strody. It'll show us your impeccable values. Yeah, no pressure. Right, fine. I'm diverting to Leeds. Okay. Right. So our new destination. I mean, it's not even planned for. It's quite a way up here. There it is. Echo Golf November Mike. So, if anyone logs on and fancies it, they're going to think, where on earth are you going? Because it's not even a planned alternative. Rob's had to retrieve his bins twice in Leeds. You'll be retrieving a 737 shortly. Right, let me just echo November Golf, like... No, I always do this. Echo Golf, but it's Oslo. Leeds. Right, so I'll imagine we've requested to route to Leeds, and you'd probably get a whole rerouting. So what we'll do, we'll go via Wallasey. So what we'll firstly do is type in Wallasey in the operational, or the FMS. It's quite a way over there actually. Maybe I'll go direct to Pole. I'm just trying to think of the routing, because the routing here goes usually via Trent. Maybe I can go via Debi. Yeah, let's go via Wallasey. Such a rerouting though. Maybe a little bit. Let's go Pole. So yeah, I mean, this is how you'd initiate sort of the diversion. ATC will give you a direct, which is going to be a little bit better for your routing. Pole's still a lot further west. No, I don't want to go all the way over there. Let's go Debi. Sorry for this sort of moving and ahhing here. Why is it? Nice. Yeah. Wow, I didn't actually expect it to be that far away. Yeah, I suppose it's further northwest. What about Manchester VOR? Okay. It's still a lot farther west than I'd like to go. Let me just overlay this. So this is why it would be great to have some ATC. What? No, I think I'll go Wrexham. Wallasey was quite a bit further north. Maybe it's just not quite to scale. So let's go. Yes, direct. Poor ZIBO. I've spanned it so many waypoints. So let's type in Wrexham. Okay, execute. So that's just going to start the aircraft routing away from our arrival airport. There we are, over the UK now. And then from Wrexham, we'll just type in the new routing. So it's going to be Wrexham, Barton. So we'd probably, let's say, yeah, okay, Alpaca 13 Sierra Delta. We'd like to divert to Leeds. And then London would say, so okay, stand by. Okay, Alpaca 13 Sierra Delta, so you're cleared to divert to Leeds. Route via Wrexham, Barton, Pole Hill. And then you just type it in like this. That's the initial stages, just to get the aircraft sort of routing where you want it to go. So we'll put the routing in. Wrexham, Barton, Pole, execute. So there we are. We've got our new routing in. You can still see all the old routing in. It's exactly as it would appear. And what we need to now do is go to the route page 1 and change the destination to Leeds. So Echo Golf November Mike. Execute. And you can now build off the Leeds. So arrivals, it'll be ILS Zulu 32. And we won't do the transitions there. What I'll do, I'll self-position. So I'm going to select ILS 32, execute. After Pole then, I'm just going to route direct to... You have all the other routing there to Fixie. So we'll have then another discontinuity. There's the centre fix, execute. There we are. So the whole new routing is in the FMC. So that's all programmed in. Welcome to Wrexham via Wrexham, brilliant, 2 tons. So that's done, and we put the departure and arrivals in as well. Now we obviously get an update on our fuel. So fuel diverting 3.9 tons. So we're still arriving with plenty of fuel to get to sort of East Midlands, Manchester. You're going to burn 2 tons, so it's at least another 35-40 minutes there. What's the difference between Yankee and Zulu Spurious Pod? It'll be something very simple. Let's have a look at the difference between the two. Well, we've only got Zulu here in the charts, haven't we? It'll be something about the missed approach or the arrival onto the ILS. Why there's only Zulu here, I don't know. But well, no, there's no option for Yankee or Zulu here. Don't know. Why the FMC gives you an option and this doesn't have it. Anyway, we'll go for this ILS. So we're going to route direct to the centre fix. I'll provide myself with vectors. I'll do, the centre fix is actually only on a 7.2 mile final, so what I'll do, I'll create a little base leg point here about there. So if we take the QDN 318 subtract 90, that's 228. So if I put CI 32 228 slash 4, so that's 4 miles away. There you are. I've made a little base leg point for us. Execute, and there we go. So that's all coded. So I'll now put the fixings in. 10 and 4 miles. miles. Actually, it'll be 5 miles I want to configure today. Perfect. So we've started that phase there, and let's now see where our new top of descent is. It's going to be quite far away now, isn't it? Oh, now that shouldn't have spat that out. I'm pretty sure it shouldn't have. I've never seen that before. Interesting. There we are, 64 miles. Yeah, I don't think it should have spat the top of descent. It's been a while since we've done that. V-Skycheck, any question why I didn't use Route 2 this time? Any reasoning behind that? Well, you can use it to plan a diversion, but on my operator we only use it really to load the second route. We just modify the existing route if you divert, just like I've done there. So that's done. So routing's done for the FMC. Let's now look at the ILS chart. So we're happy with the star as well. There's no ATC online here at the moment. They're going to be questioning where on earth I'm going anyway. So we've got the ILS frequency 110.9. I'm going to have to make a new thumbnail now. 1109. Course is a 318. What on earth is this music we're listening to? Do you question this new sound pack I'm using? 1109, 318 is the courses. Minimums for Cat 1 ILS, runway 32. It's 862 feet. Oh, skip this up. 862 feet is set, and the QNH in Leeds is 986, very low pressure. Perfect, that's all in. Right then, let's have a look at the landing performance then. So Leeds is not a... Oh, I need to add Leeds now, don't I? Let me unload this flight plan. This has become very confusing. Flights, unload, there we are. Let's just call it divert. Right then, so the runway itself, it is not long. In fact, it's infamously not long. Runway 32, landing distance available on the glide slopes, just 1,600 metres. Very short runway here. We'll plan to vacate, well, if we can manage the first right here. If not, we'll go to the end of Echo and backtrack. But let's have a look at the performance nonetheless. Fuel 4.2, 4.7. We're burning with 500 kilos, 62.2. It's not too heavy. I should think we definitely need flat 40 though. So landing performance, runway 32, surface conditions wet, 260.26, gusting 39, so worst case will be performance will be 260.26. Oh, this is going to be gnarly. Temperature 986. Anyway, it is 62.2. I'll be flying a little bit quicker than that. 0 plus 10, I reckon. Flat 40, let's have a look here. Yeah, order break 3 is doable on a wet runway. And that's unfactored. At my operator, we factor this, so actually order break 3 wouldn't be enough. But I'm going to use max auto because, you know, Leeds. So flat 40, order break max. Max reverse thrust as well. So there we are. Let me update the video title. I'm actually going to... Cork, Birmingham, you voted Leeds. No, I can't fit that in the thumbnail, it's too long. And I'll just have to change the thumbnail after the stream. Leeds, Bradford. Done. Excellent. Yes, look at this lovely weather down here though, and scenery. Warbeck's True Earth, working in X-Plane 11, but they've got a fix coming to make it, or a brand new one working in X-Plane 12. I just realised it. My chart's still up. Go to Leeds, absolute madman. Well, you look at the... Oh, actually, the votes have actually become a little bit more equal. I have to say, yeah, over 1 in 3 wants me to go to Birmingham. There we go. That does mean we need to visit Birmingham again on the live stream. The UK does get a lot of love. But yeah, I should have just planned from Leeds. My God, look at that cloud down there. That looks ominous. Oh, I better update fly light as well. There we are, fly live's updated. Leeds Bradford. Reposition afterwards, don't have the time. This has been... Yeah, Orbex True F for X-Plane 12 is a new product. Yeah, they're making a new one, although there is a workaround to get the X-Plane 11 variant working. I think the new version has got seasonal changes or something, I believe. Why does that grey cloud? The rest of it looks very, very good. Right, so landing in Leeds at night with max crosswind landing. Great. Well, we might end up going to Birmingham anyway, so... dear. We've done everything else. The descent winds will just use the same. They're not going to be too dissimilar. Best do the descent checklist.
Descent checklist. Pressurization.
Oh yes, thanks for reminding me. Land altitude now at Leeds is 680 feet. Wow.
Set.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Approach briefing and fuel.
Discussed.
Discussed.
IAS and alt bugs.
So flat 40 minimums QH.
Checked and set.
Descent checklist complete.
Perfect. Robson, 47 months as a member, thank you very much for the support for that period of time. Are you sure you don't want to go to Birmingham? Julia's waiting in a limo. She wasn't the one in Cork. Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Robson, for your continued support there. Yes, I'm sure she would have been very impressed with my landing in Birmingham with not so crosswind conditions. Let me just get an update on Birmingham. Yeah, it's now 250 at 12 knots. It's just a normal day there. Going to Leeds was the right choice for your entertainment. Yeah, it's 10 knot winds at Birmingham now. The forecast earlier was atrocious all day. Right, there's no restrictions on this arrival. Let's just descend down to 80. I've locked off as well. Right, I just want to watch the transition here from top of descent. I don't know if ZIBO's put a fix in. And then Fly would like me to divert to Birmingham, Alabama. It's clear you can make it. Probably not. Pressuring disgust, yes. Oh, interesting. The weather radar is painting a little bit thicker than it used to, but it's still very realistic. There we are, top of descent, ladies and gentlemen. After 30 minutes of flight time, we're descending into Leeds, Bradford for your entertainment. To be fair, yeah, it wasn't windy enough in Birmingham. Oh, chart's still on the screen. I was just, yes, I thought you, Alfie was studying it, that's why. Lovely Magnus. Yeah, the transition onto the idle descent path was much better. I think ZIBO put a little fix for the group flight. It sort of started descent, got a bit high, but it's still a nice transition. Just keep an eye on the speed. You might get the message drag required in the FMC. Hi Jensen UK, good evening Captain, just joined in. This looks like it could be fun. Yes, we're now diverting to Leeds because Birmingham wasn't windy enough. A mean. Nim has definitely made its way to Yorkshire. Very windy and raining heavily. Lovely. Yes, it started sort of west. I think Liverpool Blackpool was really windy this morning, and it sort of continued just going east. Bit of speed brake just to help the aircraft slow down here, so let's extend it out. The auto throttle's disconnected. I think that's just because there's a bit of noise there. Oh, what's going on with my thrust? That's probably why we're having issues there. Let me get the auto throttle back in. There we go. weird ways you accidentally voted for Birmingham because you thought it was windy there. Yeah. No, I believe you. There we are, back to our target speed, so we can smoothly stow the speed brake. In the real aircraft, you want to do it nice and smoothly as well. There we go. Bit of noise from it. Magnus, always amazes how good flight simulators look nowadays. It's just incredible. Yeah, it does look fantastic. Yeah, what makes Travis looking really, really good. Looks just like the UK. Oh, sorry, Redstone. Yeah, it's a democratic channel here. The people have voted for Leeds. Braden, what's the reason for doing it smoothly? Well, you don't want to sort of cause any uncomfortable sensations or feelings for the passengers. So if you extend it really quickly, it will raise quickly and you'll sink. So you get this sort of feeling in your stomach. That's looking really good now and explain. Or better. What makes True Earth looks really, really nice here. Oh, is that the oh, do excuse me, the river through Liverpool. I always forget the name. Yes, Liverpool's just off the, there's Liverpool there in the cloud. Thanks, Mersey. I knew that. Oh, yeah, there is Liverpool. The Panama Canal, brilliant. Tailwind's lovely, pushing us along nicely. Seems like the mod is taking that into account as well with the profile. This dodgy weather radar though. There's Manchester off to the left-hand side as well. Got some clouds. I've got this Flyer plug-in as well for smaller raindrops. Aviation Zone, hello, hope you're doing well. Do you know if there's any new aircraft coming to explain 12 possibly maybe a 777? Flight Factory are making a 777, V2 version. How close it is to release, I have no idea. Seatbelt signs coming on. Oh, bit of lightning. Yeah, I'm just going to turn this weather radar off. Latest wind in Leeds, just refreshing here. It's still 250 at 27, gusting 38 knots. So that's actually out of limits for landing. The crosswind component with that is 34 knots. So yeah, you could not land right now in Leeds. Oh no, I was looking at the wrong airport. That was Manchester. I don't think Leeds is much better. 260 at 26, gusting 39. So that crosswind's 34 knot crosswind with the gust, so it's over limits. Alfie, what happened to the ski effects on X-Pen 11? I always rated them before they went away. It was Vulcan. When they released Vulcan for X-Pen 11, ski effects no longer worked. However, it is working in X-Pen 12. Approaching Barton. I'm going to go to Pole Hill, and then instead of routing direct to the NDB, I'm going to make a right turn on base leg. Nighttime landing in Leeds. Well, again, stock Leeds scenery with Orbex True F. I just don't know what the... It could be like a massive lump on the runway. Yeah. Sorry for all my colleagues having to fly in this today. Golf Hotel Papa just landed in Leeds. No pressure. Thanks, Coke Fred. Cheers, Mitch. I guess the wind might have slightly dropped off the METAR. Obviously, the METAR's up to 30 minutes old, so probably just drop below limits right now. It's, well, my operator over limits. They've got forecasts of gusting up to 50 knots until 1800 Zulu for another hour and 10 minutes. Let's have a smidge of engine anti-ice, not switch is continuous, engine anti-ice on. See, that's increasing our speed slightly because of the slightly higher N1. Wind has dropped last 20 minutes here near Bolton. Thanks for the info, Akis. Hugo, what is the max crosswind on the NG and on the max? My operator is the same, 33 knots. 33 knots for dry and wet run wave, and it decreases based off the reported braking action. Alfie, if you had the whole fuel, would you hold and wait for weather to improve or just divert if you're outside of limits? Depends on the situation, how much fuel you've got. If you planned for Alfie and the forecast was for the wind to improve, then yes, you would take extra fuel and hold up to a certain point. If it was forecast to improve. If it's getting worse and forecast to get worse, there's no point holding. Secret stash, guys. I just have to shoot this. Are you landing? We're trying to. In about 10 minutes mark, Kilpian. Ladies and gentlemen, we have diverged from your original destination due to the lack of strong winds. It would be something along those lines, Bruno. There we are, 100 for 80, post-cruise checks. Lights coming on, logo light on now at this stage, angular bank set to 25 degrees, pressurisation 3.2 set, seatbelts on, recall, checks complete. So yeah, I have to poll now. We're not routing direct to the NDB. We're going to make a turn east towards the centre fix, self-positioning for the approach now. So this would be typically what would happen is approaching Leeds, Bradford, NDB, they'd give you vectors if you're on this arrival. Yep, logged off of VATSIM now, Gregory, because I've diverted and not doing anywhere near the original planned routing, or am I diverting to any of my alternate airports? Look at that, that looks fantastic, doesn't it? Right then, let's descend to the MSA. MSA is 3,500 feet, so let's go down to that height. Set QNH, which is 986, passing 7,500 of 3,500 feet. Standby altimeter is set. Let's go to level change now. So a little bit faster than we'd like. Keep the engine anti-ice on as we're sort of in and out of cloud here. Is Jack destructive for landing? He is. There's a bit of precipitation as well. You can hear it lashing on the windscreen. Bit of turbulence coming in. Look at the wind still at 6,000 feet, 70 knots. Oh, this ain't gonna be easy. We'll respect the stabilised approach criteria, of course. So if we're not happy with where we are at the gates, or any time I'm not happy, we'll execute the missed approach, which is to climb straight ahead to 2,000 feet and make a right climbing turn back to the beacon, which I actually need to tune for at 2.5. You can hear that rain. I don't think you can set to the nearest. No, it's identified anyway, Lima Bravo Alpha. Sean, what would you say is the main reason for sticking with X-Plane as opposed to going over to Microsoft Flight Sim? Or if you have both, then what do people think is the pros and cons for each? I think Microsoft Flight Simulator, the graphics obviously are far superior. It looks fantastic. And for the majority of people, that's fine. what I explain, I think, is conditions like this are far more dynamic and realistic. I think Microsoft Flight Simulation, these conditions are quite static, don't really replicate the conditions. But I've not actually done this in X-Plane 12 yet, these sort of conditions, so let's see what happens first. Right then, let's start reducing our speed to the upspeed, start slowing down to approaching base leg. Take the engine anti-ice off now, 10 degrees. Another thing I've not taken into account, look at this speed here, absolutely huge. So you've got to get your speed below 180 knots on base, because otherwise the aircraft will overshoot. This is actually a problem in the real aircraft if you've got a strong tailwind on base. Huge threat. This catches a lot of new and inexperienced first officers out, the winds on base. So our current ground speed at 4,000 feet is over 300 knots. So we'll select flap 1 now. Huge strong wind here. Speed check flap 1 and speed check flap 5. Got bring that speed all the way back now to flap 5 speed. Just go VS 500 feet per minute. 278 knots now. God, those conditions. Is speed brake appropriate here? Yeah, speed brake's out. Smidge high here. Flat 10. That will change. We're just going to bugger 190 knots. Maybe 180. That should be okay.
1,000 to go.
Checked. So almost established on the localizer. I'll step down to 3,000 feet. Look at that, 220 knots. But had I not brought the speed back turning base here, it would have bit me hard. These conditions are crap. Much better there. Now out.
1,000 to go.
Checked. So vertical speed. And look at the ground speed change as we fly into the headwind here. Watch that. Look how quickly the ground speed's dropping off. Nicely handled by the mod autopilot here. Auto approach, localizer, glide slope capture, 318. Boost approach challenge in 3,000 feet set. Had I not done that, we would have overshot the localizer massively. Stone speed brake. There we are, we're established. 45 knot cross. Don't do it to it. Right then. Can't see the runway yet. We'll configure it 5 miles. It would be a little bit bumpier than this. It's bumpy already, but it'll be even bumpier than what we're experiencing right now. So I mean, this is a track up display. Our nose of our airplane is pointing off to the left here, so that's what we're actually pointing towards. The runway is going to appear on the right hand side, guys. Hold on to your horses. This is going to be a max crosswind landing. There's the runway. At Leeds, you never see it directly ahead of you. It's either that's the side, either one of the side runways. Right, approaching 5 miles. Gear down. Flat 15. Right, speed. Landing checklist. Start switches continuous. Recall checked. Speed brake. Arm green light. Landing gear. Down to green. Order brake is set. Flat 25. And we're going to bug between VRF and the white bug speed here. Just need to be below 162 knots for flat 40. There we are, flat 40. Oh, love Leeds. All your head-aim cars are weird. Yeah, track up's the feature. Look at the drift here. 15 degrees of drift, 38 knot crosswind. Flaps 40, green, light, lights are on. Checks complete. Wish me luck. Right, so our reference around 60. Why is my thrust lever not reacting? There we are. I thought it wasn't reacting there. So a little bit high on speed. And we've got a 40 knot crosswind now. As we get close to the ground, there'll be a lot more mechanical turbulence in these conditions. So you have to make lots of inputs to keep it steady. You've still got the flight directors. I'm drifting a little bit slightly downwind here. I don't know what the runway is like with Orbex True Earth, if it's completely flat or hilly or what. I've got about a 30 knot crosswind now. I'll now use right rudder to decrab at the appropriate time. And then aileron into wind, so left aileron to keep the wings level. Speed's getting a bit high here. what, it is quite good, these conditions. Like, I'm having to make lots of inputs to sort of keep the aircraft stable. 40 knot crosswind, ever so slightly downwind. You never want to end up downwind on a strong crosswind. You want to stay slightly upwind of the centreline. Right, it's creating speed now. 40 knot cross.
1,000.
Checked. Jesus.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Birch altitude set.
Checked. Thank you, Jim. 500 continue, are stable. It would be more input required in these conditions now. It is still having to make quite a few inputs, but it would be worse in real life. Oh, speed. There's a bit of a gust. Yeah, look at that increase in wind. Oh, flipping heck. Checked. So I'm really looking outside. I'm downwind of the runway here. Not good. Not good.
300.
Checked. 3 red still okay. Continue. 3 red. Got a bit low at the end there. Very low now.
100.
Don't get any lower.
50. 40. 30.
Check.
20.
Close.
10.
Right rudder. Anyone needs wind. Oh, that'll do. Yeah, full ailer on now. Oh, right rudder. I've got right rudder. Full right rudder. Full right rudder. Right. Manual braking. Oh, flipping heck. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leeds. Oh, now, I had full right rudder there. We nearly went off the edge. Oh, flipping heck. Oh, that was crazy. Yeah, so in reality, if you had that much rudder, you'd expect the aircraft to go back on the sense line. I jammed that right rudder in so much. Oh, flipping. Look, right, I just want to show you what weathercocking is. Look, I'm just going to let go. Look, I'm going to go back from my seat. Watch the aircraft. See how it's just moving on its own. That's really realistic. You've got this really strong wind pushing on the vertical stabilizer, and that's called weathercocking. So look, I'll just if I go back off my seat, look, the aircraft's just going to turn onto the centreline automatically because of that really strong wind. Super cool. Yeah, it was good. I lost rudder effectiveness though. To bear in mind, I don't know what the actual wind is in the sim. If it's sort of above the max crosswind limit, then yeah, maybe full rudder authority is needed. But yeah, I had full right and we were going left. I thought we would have been doing a 2E. Right, anyway, let's vacate the runway. Fingers crossed the replay works, because that'll be an excellent one to watch. But yeah, I can guarantee you, minus not having rudder effectiveness, sort of drifting off to the left there, the rest was pretty spot on. In fact, the sort of last 300 feet where I got a bit low, you know, it was really sort of representative of the conditions, and you saw how much I had to add a lot of thrust just to maintain speed. But it was really on the sort of limits. I managed to stay at 3 reds the whole time. But yeah, I had sort of 70% M1 there, all the way in there. Altiva, do you have active sky? No, this is just stock Explain 12 weather, which in my opinion is as good as active sky was in Explain 11. And I have to say, the ortho tile I'm using, look at that windsock, the ortho tile I'm using is quite representative of the actual runway slope here in Leeds. Anyway, I've got this new fly with lure script with the wind, the rain. You can see it driving across there. The window wiper's actually working. No. Okay, I'll have to have a look at that. Yeah, not bad. But so much rudder needed there to keep the aircraft on the centre. Well, I say so much. I had full rudder after touchdown there. HD simulation only an Explain. Where can experience that? Just saying. Yeah, I'll be tempted to, if you go and try this in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I guarantee you won't need any aileron. It doesn't really model that very well. Anyway, if I had time, guys, I would love to show you again a back-to-back stream with Microsoft Flight Simulator as well, just to compare the two. But yeah, I only had time for a quick fire stream today. Right, we'll take left here on November, and then we'll pull on to stand. Oh no, the wipers do work. That's really cool. So this is the, yeah, look at the wind driving across there. That's actually quite cool. This is the fly with Lewis script that was given to me. Brendan, thank you. It was interesting to see how sideways it was from inside the flight deck. Some questionable flying towards the end. Oh, well, thanks. I tried my hardest, Brendan. But yeah, it's the rudder there. I needed so much rudder. And had I actually not engaged reverses and I was skidding off to the side, I would have executed the go around as well. Lucho, how many springs do you have? I have the maximum amount of springs I've got in there, which I think is 2. Is it 2? I can't remember. But yeah, 2 springs. You need them. Right, let's do the clean up. The strobes can come off. We'll take a left here onto the apron. Get the APU started as well. Give it a try. Let me know how you get on in X-Plane. We should. Well, we took the Concorde here once, didn't we? Yeah, good idea, though. I think Birmingham would have been a bit boring. Take the next right here with the air bridge. Sorry, passengers, not in Birmingham, but I did get you here safely in Leeds. Oh, this fly with Lua script is much better. Look at it wiping the rain. Look. Yeah, that's nice. I'm not sure about the way it's going though. It should be a little more sort of from the top to bottom. Anyway. Let's bring it to a stop here. That'll do. Excellent. Right, parking brake is set. Overhead panel. AP should be available. Oh, look at that for timing. Wonderful. Right, AP's on the bus. They can be moved to off. Probe heat can come off as well. 2 blues and red engine set. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very windy and gusty Leeds. I think that's the closest I've come to having a runway excursion on landing. But we made it nonetheless. 10 out of 10 should have done it again. And the pole. That's actually, the pole was actually almost equal to him. Cheers, Leo. Great stream. Thanks. Glad you enjoyed it. Andrew, when will you see me in a racing simulation game? Oh, I've got a lot of other stuff going on at the moment. I'd like to organise a race before Christmas with some of the members. We'll see what I can do. My right foot was stamping on the floor for you. Yeah, I was like literally floored. I was like, full right, nothing was happening. Brilliant. Cheers, Gary. Off with the beacon. Sorry, sir. Engine 1 and 2 N2 below 20%. Checked. Okay, right. Who would like to see a replay then? I'll have to update the thumbnail. That was really quite interesting. Oh dear. Excellent. Right then. So I've already logged off of VATSIM. I've done the checks. Yeah, I didn't run the landing checklist because it can be a bit glitchy. Let's have a look at the replay, and we'll start the replay. Funky music, but I'll sort of give you a bit of a debriefing of myself there and see how things looked from the external view as well. You'll see how much rudder I had in on the rollout just to try and keep it all steady. It'll have to be at night, unfortunately, because it doesn't update today. Right, let's have a little play. Fingers crossed for the replay. Should be fine in the mod. See how close we got to the edge. Oh no, hold on, we're still taxiing back there. Oh, flipping. That rain looks really realistic, but unfortunately I didn't have the wipers on when I was actually flying.
200.
Yeah, this, I mean, how good does that look? That looks super realistic in these conditions. Right, so, but I was a little bit downwind. There's the right position, and a smidge low. I had 3 reds all the way in there, but I had a lot of thrust on at this stage. So I should have been a little bit left, ideally. I was a little bit downwind.
10.
So there's the right rudder. Aileron into wind. Left wheel down's fine. Then I had full right rudder now. I had full right rudder, and the aircraft should have turned. Cool, yeah, I think. Yeah, so that's just a limitation in the sim. Full right, you should have enough rudder authority even in these strong crosswind conditions. Let's have a look from outside. Flipping heck, that's how much crab I had. So look, I'm aligned. Look, I'm perfectly aligned with the runway there, but I was too far downwind. I should have ideally been a little bit off to the other side there. It's very good at modelling this. It was just the rudder though. So yeah, I should have been out over here. I was pushing my luck. Now after I touched down, the touchdown was okay, but look at this, full right rudder, look. It just... I was fine! Full right though, and you should. I mean, that's just a limitation in the sim. You should have enough rudder authority there. Yeah, I was a little bit too downwind. So there we are, touchdown. There's the D-crab. Landed with a bit of crab still, that's okay. But this is what the sim's really realistic. So when you're sort of, you see on the rollout here, if I go slow, see how we're sort of skidding? That's realistic at these sort of high speeds and wet conditions. The aircraft will skid initially. So there's my full right rudder in now. Full right, and the aircraft's still turning left, look. And then the rudder started biting. This would have started turning right a lot sooner. So look, full right. And it's only just now started going there. Let's see how close I was to the edge. Fine, all good. Loads of space. Yeah. Let's have a look from the touchdown zone. This is gonna look epic. Oh, look at the crab I had. That's on the, that's over the numbers. Right, rudder was going to be a little bit earlier with the rudder. That's fine. Left wheel down's fine. And look at the right aileron now. Look. So that's just the problem with X-Plane. I should have, you know, turned right sooner, and I kept it on the runway just below the hump. Looks like a shark now. Let's have a look from a different perspective. But the physics on it, pretty good. Just the rudder. I've landed worse, harder in these conditions. Nah, the rudder was just not effective though. God. Kept it on the runway though. If you were on the sense line, you would have gone off the runway. That's actually true. But I probably could have corrected a bit sooner. There's all that thrust going into the last minute there. What was the actual landing rate? It was a good landing rate, wasn't it? No, look at that. Right, full right, full right. Yeah, so close. Yeah, it could have been Romulus, but the handling was very good. It's much better since launch. By far the best handling in any sim. So. Excellent, right then, I'll just do one more from the tower. Gotta see it from his view. Need to be hovering over the crash alarm. God, damn it. Rip FPS. The fact I landed one wheel down first is okay in these conditions. If the rudder was a bit more effective, it would have been perfection from the mod and the sim. Brakes really powerful, stop very early. Mega. Cabin cam will do that on the rollout, WOC as ever. Right then, let's pop you back into the cabin view. I think we're going to go... No, I'll go this way, because then you won't see how close we got to the edge. Let's pop you back on the approach to around 4 or 5 miles. It was bumpy, you'll hear all the engine changes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little impromptu stream, guys. That was a flight from Cork to Birmingham, diverting to Leeds merely for your entertainment. Operation, it would have been a stupid decision, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. If you're interested on the techniques, check out the flight in Simbacks, crosswind backs, takeoff landing tutorials. I hope you find those interesting as well. As I said, X-Plane 12's really handled it quite well. The mod as well. It was just the rudder wasn't quite effective enough on that rollout. I had full right rudder. We still went left a little bit before it sorted itself out. But overall, it's an 8.5 out of 10. It was really quite good. The techniques you applied, the rudder and the aileron inputs were pretty much spot on. It was just that rollout, so very impressed. Anyway, I am back to work tomorrow for a few days, no standbys as well, but I do have some short days. Again, a big maybe if I stream after work. Let you know in the social media feeds, but I don't always post it. Like today, I sometimes just post a stream without using the social media feed. So the best thing to do is subscribe to stay up to date with the latest content. Thanks to all the donations and thanks to all the members for your continued support. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Cheerio.